Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video and welcome to round 5 of our F1 25 My Team Career Mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Of course, if you missed out on the video that went live late yesterday evening, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out from Bahrain. It was a pretty good one. I might have got a little bit lucky in that one without kind of giving too much away. But either way, yesterday was a very, very successful day for us inside this series because we scored points in both races. It's moved us up to P8 overall. We're kind of best of the rest early on this season. Lando Norris still leading the way, 85 points there. You can see 28 clear of Charles Leclerc. Oscar Piastri claimed his first win of the year as well to move up to P3 ahead of both Red Bulls. McLaren still leading the way in the Constructors' Championship there with a healthy buffer ahead of Red Bull and Ferrari. But we're up to 6th as well. I think it's going to be difficult to keep up with Williams. Aston Martin look good and Haas, well, on the weekends Haas are doing well. They are absolutely flying. But it is only Kick Sauber that have yet to score a point, despite the fact I believe Hulkenberg's finished 11th twice early on this season as well. So it does seem to be quite kind of mixed up. There does seem to be a lot of surprises early on this season as well. Of course, if you're new, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed to the channel. We are trying to hit 150,000 subs at the moment. A massive thank you to everybody for all of the support as well. We're going to try and obviously continue getting as many upgrades onto the car as we possibly can as well. Obviously, upgrades are rolling in rather rapidly, actually, early on this season. So just trying to get as much researched as we can. And then, of course, throwing as many of those upgrades through development as well to get them on the cars. As you can see, pretty much all of our bases are loaded right now. So, yeah, I think we just head out then to Saudi Arabia. Of course, as well, before I forget, if you want early access to all these videos, click the join button down below. It costs just £1 a month. You get early access, like I said, to everything, as well as a few other exclusive perks. It's just a really useful way to help support me and our editors and everything else going on with the channel. But yeah, without further ado then, Jeddah Corniche. This one I expect to be wild.
Welcome to the Jeddah Corniche, one of the fastest circuits on the calendar. But let's see who will be fastest of them all. We're about to set the grid for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Yes, it's qualifying.
Well, a lot of drivers then back out on the circuit ready for this final run, but we do still need to find an improvement here. Fernando Alonso is barely half a tenth of a second behind me, so I think we'll probably end up in the drop zone temporarily, but hopefully we will not stay there. As a nice run at the final corner, braking just before the 100-meter board there, get the car slowed down. Third gear through the first part, second gear through the second, just to get the rotation, and then try and really be smooth on the throttle.
Push down to P16.
Oh, just again tried to step it in a little bit too early through the first part of the S's, but completely flat through the second, through the third, through the fourth. Oh, a little blend of throttle there. I just got worried we were washing out towards that curbing. But nice run on the exit of the corner. A 10th up then by the end of Sector 1. Braking at the black box, tip the car in through the banked turn 12 there. We definitely made a little error last time round through there. And we will carry the speed on the exit as well. We are now down though into the drop zone, but Alonso didn't improve by much up in P16 as well. Again, another little wobble as we try and get the power down off of the corner. I just got to be very careful. I don't want to run out of battery because, of course, it immediately puts the car into harvesting mode, which costs you a lot of time on the run back towards the start-finish line there. But 4 tenths up at the moment on my previous lap time. A 1:30.7 is the time set by Isaac Hadjar, but I don't know how much quicker than him. Their next car is up the road. One more corner to go. Oh, not meeting the apex anywhere near where I needed to be, but hopefully we'll get a nice traction on the exit there. We might just have bottled it, Max Verstappen style, on the run up towards the line. P14. Luckily, we recovered on the exit. There we go then, Lando Norris, 3 tenths clear of anybody else on a 1:28.9 there in Q1. Yuki Tsunoda ahead of Charles Leclerc and George Russell. So Verstappen 1.1 seconds off the pace. That's quite a big surprise. We ended up safely through though into Q2 by a good couple of tenths there ahead of Alonso. Again, I don't think we'll have the pace to see Q3, so I guess we get to go for a glory run in Q2. Well, Alex Albon currently with the cut-off time of a 1:30.4, but if you have a look, Oscar Piastri down in P13 right now, so not been the session he would have wanted so far. The pressure is on for the young Australian here. He needs to improve, he needs to make sure that he gets through into Q3. But like I said, we're just going to absolutely throw the car around. We've got no delta to chase, nothing like that. We're just going to try and go for it in this Q2 run. Jeddah, one of the most satisfying circuits on the calendar when you get it hooked up. And that might be the first and only time all weekend I get turn 3 pretty nicely dialed in there. Make sure we try and attack the exit of the S's, which we will do. Not even having a downshift through the final part there. That was beautiful through the S's early on in the lap. Purple in Sector 1. Okay, there you go. That goes to show how hooked up that was. They're clearly taking a lot out of the tyres all at the same time there. Oh, I nudged the wall ever so slightly on the exit. Luckily, we should get away with that one. Let's try and get the car slowed down through the next S-bend there. A little bit wide on the exit. And just try and use a splasher battery to carry the speed through this back straight that, of course, isn't really a straight. Most of the straights around this venue are pretty bendy. Braking just at the black box again. There's green through Sector 2. We're 8/10 up on the time set by Kimi Antonelli at the moment. This might be the lap of my life early on this season. Are we potentially about to sneak our way into Q3? I certainly was not expecting it, but this lap has felt pretty hooked up. One more corner to go. Meet the apex rather nicely. Use a little bit of battery on the exit on the run up towards the line. What is the time going to be? It's going to be a 29.9. We make it through. Well, there we are then. Lando Norris again fastest on a 29.0 there, but by 1/10 of a second, we will knock Yuki Tsunoda out in Q2 here on the Jeddah Corniche. I forgot to mention, I have upped the AI now. We are running 110 inside the game there, so very, very happy with the pace that we've been able to showcase. Hulkenberg weirdly didn't go for a lap in Q2. Not too sure what that's all about, but if we line up any higher than 10th, I'm going to be happy. Here, Gasly in P9 now is on a 1:30.1. Carlos Sainz is on a 1:29.5. And you guys saw that Q2 lap. It was probably the lap of my life. If we could even match that here in Q3, I think I'm going to be very happy. But again, we're just going to put it all on the line. We have got to be a little bit careful. I don't want to pick up any damage in this session as well. Potentially add to our bill before the Grand Prix has even got going, because we know there could be chaos as we head into the Grand Prix there. But let's just see what we can do on this final run. We've proven... Of course! Oh, damn it, man. I knew, as soon as I said I didn't want to pick up damage, I knew that was exactly what we were going to do there. I mean, can we have a look from a different angle? I don't think we can, annoyingly. But just tipped it in too early. I do what I always do around this venue. Always what annoys me more with it is I always take the wheel off. The front wing, fully intact. That's just how close it was on the entry there. But I think we did almost roll it as well in that moment. So, not the ideal start to the weekend. But let's get into the race.
Good morning, good afternoon, or for us, good evening, as we're under the night lights of Jeddah. The floodlights are on and so is the pressure here at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So let's take a look at the topographical map of the Jeddah Street Circuit. As you can see, a number of challenging corners for the drivers to master here. We'll see just how much the teams have benefited from their time spent in practice this weekend. And like many street circuits, this track has the potential to punish drivers that get it wrong. Let's hope we avoid any safety cars today. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Russell, Leclerc, Oscar Piastri, and Hamilton. Ocon, Sainz, Gasly, and Callum Voisin. Tsunoda, Albon, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and Behrman. Hulkenberg, Fernando Alonso, Isaac Hadjar, and Jack Doohan. Lawson, Stroll, Bortoletto, and Dennis Hauger rounds off the grid. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
Max Verstappen, a ridiculously quick lap time by the end of Q3 yesterday, putting 4 tenths on Lando Norris in P2 there. But we will line up 10th then. Luckily, no grid penalties or anything like that. It was just the suspension that we needed to replace ready for the Grand Prix. 25 laps ahead of us, though, here from the Jeddah Corniche. I am looking forward to this one. Looks like hopefully the AI are going to be on a one-stop today, because that absolutely carried us through the last couple of races as well. But hopefully we've just got some good pace around this venue. 5 red lights are on then for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and it's going to be lights out on. Away we go then. Not if you're Carlos Sainz, though. Really bad start from the Williams man, so we would immediately trying to look around him in towards someone there. He's clearly got a bit more confidence on the brakes in towards that first turn there, as he will try and immediately recover both spots that he lost, and he will do. Straight back up into P8 for Carlos there, down in through the first couple of corners, as we try and throw the car down in towards the S's. I think Albon and Tsunoda having a bit of a battle just behind him. Notice the dirty air so badly through those first few turns of this lap, as we just try and keep the car dialed in nice and tidy through those next couple of turns there. And if we could immediately break the DRS to those cars behind, that would be absolutely fantastic. Can't help but feel we still probably placed this car a little bit optimistically, shall we say, in qualifying yesterday. But of course this circuit is all about strategy, all about DRS, and just picking your moments when you're going to go for moves, when you're going to kind of hold back, and everything like that there. But as we try and get the power down out onto the back straight, and already a 1.1 second gap to Alex Albon just behind. Looks like Ocon, though, might lose the range to the cars in front of him, as Sainz already trying to apply the pressure as well. But it looks like Lando Norris has been able to claim the lead from Verstappen there. So just like we saw in real life, the Dutchman will claim pole, but not be leading the Grand Prix in the early stages. Of course, he did take a safety car and a 5-second penalty for him to lose that effective lead out in the real Grand Prix, of course. Let me know your thoughts and feelings on that incident down below. But there you go, you can see Gasly, huge straight line speed, 3 wide in front of me as we head back down in towards turn 1. I'm just going to watch how this all unfolds. Ocon, Sainz and Pierre there, all going wheel to wheel, and well, they've kept it clean. Esteban Ocon is going to lose the 2 spots. Gasly might gain the 2 spots in order that wheel to wheel with Sainz in towards the S's once again. I tell you what, this is brilliant battling early on in the Grand Prix there. Gasly, can he make it work there? Sainz not giving up, and Ocon brake checks me. I love that. Hopefully that damage isn't going to cost me too much in the early stages, but that is very, very annoying.
We might need to look at a new race strategy after that. I've got some options for you, so go and check your MFD.
It might mean that we have to go for a slightly early pit stop in this Grand Prix, but of course, again, you know, when you've lost that downforce behind the car in front, it can be so tricky to kind of get the car stopped all of a sudden. It just completely took me by surprise there. It doesn't feel awful, but I think we'll probably have to go for an early pit stop, kind of lap 8, lap 9. I just don't want to sacrifice our entire race too early, because hopefully, of course, with the DRS, we are still going to be able to stick with these guys. Oh, we've got yellows. We've got yellows already then. Someone looks to be dropping out of the Grand Prix, and if we've got a safety car now, that would work fantastically for us. I believe that's the Red Bull of Tsunoda. So Yuki Tsunoda, every single race so far this year, I believe with the exception of Bahrain last time out, we have seen a Red Bull Powertrains unit go up in smoke. And this time around it is going to be Yuki there, the 4th different driver. At least they're not picking on one of us, I guess. But it is just myself now, and I believe Isaac Hadjar, that have yet to have a mechanical failure with these engines. We are really struggling though in the early stages. Here comes Alex Albon down the outside. There you go, he'll be able to get past us on the brakes as well there, so we might have to go for a bit of an early pit stop, earlier than I wanted to in this Grand Prix. Like I said, it's just so annoying when the AI have got way more braking performance in the dirty air than the human player does. But again, if I can just keep kind of getting DRS off other cars, it'll hopefully make our life a little bit easier by the end of the afternoon. A little bit of a wobble through those first few corners. Come on, we've got to stay out of trouble. I mean, we've just got no performance down into that final corner. Oh, Nico Hülkenberg trying to have a look past me. Actually 3 wide on the exit, and well, I was tempted to pit there, but I don't think we're going to get an opportunity to. Hülkenberg and Antonelli flying by on the run back down towards turn 1, and yeah, we're just losing too many spots think we're going to have to try and dive in there as Isaac Hadjar has a look down the inside as well. I mean, it's just completely upset the balance of the car early on. But if we do box, of course, it's going to be a very, very lonely few laps in this race. I guess, you know, tyre wear normally isn't too bad around this circuit, as long as you don't keep hitting the walls. So that is not what we need through there, and you can just see how much around the lift out. We're geared down on what we were doing in qualifying and having to lift. And you can see we're immediately losing the DRS of those cars in front. Here goes Hadjar again. No, we'll think better of it. Oh, there goes Hadjar. There goes Hadjar, but honestly, I just want to make sure that we're on the side of the circuit where I can get into the pit lane. As Liam Lawson is going to follow his teammate by. And although DRS strains seem to be a lot better in 25 than 24, it's all Lawson kicks the back end now of that V-car as well. Yeah, we have really kind of denied too many DRS strains as well around this venue, because I have absolutely spread the field out early on here. Into the pit lane we'll go, though, at just the end of lap 5. 20 laps on the hards. It's not the most difficult challenge I've ever done on this game. Not helped when I hit to press the right button again. But yeah, certainly not going to be easy either there, as McLaren already have got a 1-2, so lacked a bit of pace in qualifying. They seem to have come alive early in the race. Oh, there we go. AI in on the end of lap 8. That's early. He's certainly not. Oscar Piastri is still out there towards the front of the order, so I've got no idea what Mark's talking about, but Lawson in, Hulkenberg in, Ocon in as well. Why on earth is some of the AI 2-stopping here at Jeddah? That seems like a very, very weird call. As here we have been able to undercut Liam Lawson then. So we basically made up the time lost from the pit stop. But annoyingly, we're not going to have the DRS of the next cars up the road. Well, Liam Lawson, we've got to play strategically. We've got to try and work together here over these next few laps, as it just seems like fresh tyres provide you with a massive advantage over everybody else there. Hulkenberg and Ocon have pulled out nearly 2 seconds on me over the course of this lap, as Alonso and Behrman also diving into the pit lane.
0.0 seconds.
Yep, it'd be useful if Mark can actually give me a real gap to our teammate ahead, because yeah, we are still closing in on him rather rapidly. Let's just try and follow Lawson, though. He is going quicker. Well, Lawson even is probably running legitimately about a second a lap faster than me at the moment, but he just cannot break away because we're just keeping in the DRS range. So we kind of got the best of both worlds. We were able to use our, fresh tyres, because there definitely seems to be a big kind of delta offset between a fresh set and an old set inside this game. But now we're also getting to enjoy the advantage of Lawson's tyres as well. Gabriele Bortoletto, though, has closed him rather rapidly over these last couple of laps, so might not be long before the Brazilian wants to go for a move. He will definitely be pitting again, though, before the end of this race, because we've got a load more cars in there, Pierre Gasly being one of them. So, yeah, looks like we're going to be out ahead of the Alpine man. It's going to be one of those races where you kind of got no idea where we are until like 5 laps to go, as we will only just get ahead of Pierre. Well, I don't want to alarm anyone, but I think legitimately Dennis Hauger is inside the top 10 right now, mainly because he hasn't pit yet, and most of the runners have. But either way, he is costing a lot of people a lot of time. As here comes Pierre Gasly. Oh, thought about a look to the outside, thought about a look to the inside there, but I mean, look how much time that group of cars have lost just in front of me. How bad is the tyre wear at the moment? 35%. I'm not sure we'll make the end of the Grand Prix on this set of tyres. We might be forced into having to 2-stop. But yeah, Gasly will go by us in through T1. So, I mean, the points are right there. No! Oh, of course. Ugh. Lucky to keep that one away from the wall, but annoyingly that's going to let Bortoletto and Fernando Alonso by. Just so tricky when you just hit the car over the limit of the balance. I'm still trying to learn that. I feel like I do one of those every single race so far. Very annoying. Very annoying. I wondered who that was getting a huge run on me. Of course, it's Kimi Antonelli yet again. I've had far too many battles with Kimi Antonelli so far this season. He has been so incredibly unlucky in loads of Grand Prix. But yeah, we are going to have to opt for a set of mediums, probably with about 8 laps to go. I am liking the fact not every race now is an easy 1-stop. Normally, you can make it work, but the fact that, that we had to box a few laps early, so the 1-stop just isn't viable. Yeah, it's a welcome change. Oh, we've got yellows, we've got yellows. I think that's... Don't say that's Verstappen breaking down as well. It is! Max Verstappen out of the Grand Prix. Both Red Bulls gone here in Saudi Arabia, so clearly they cannot handle the heat. And anger and disappointment for the Dutchman then. We're going to get promoted up into P16. But yeah, as we get towards what would effectively be the half distance of this stint, yeah, not a chance they're going to be able to get those tyres through to the end of the Grand Prix. I think we'll dive in the end of next lap though. Just take a little bit more out of these hards whilst we're in the DRS. Yeah, these tyres looking pretty wrecked then as we make our way down in towards the final corner, but I think a lot of cars have been suffering so far today. Hopefully we're going to see one of these three in front of me into the pit lane. And it is going to be Gabriele Bortoletto then, making his way in. Oh, very aggressive on the way through there. Turn the tyres into 50 pence pieces. We're not going to need them again. That's absolutely fine. Remember the correct button this time, Matt, as I believe this is the first two-stop I've actually tried to do so far this year. Nailing the timing entry that time round. And we're going to get the jump on Bortoletto then, actually quite comfortably. Okay, I think he's got front wing damage, so I might explain that one.
If you cross onto the track.
But coming back out then onto the circuit down in P18. No idea where Hauger is in this Grand Prix. But we got 3 seconds to close in on Hulkenberg and Lawson. You see that Albon and Sainz having a bit of a battle just in front. Hulkenberg versus Lawson still on the exit of those first couple of corners. Will we see Liam back out of it? He's on the inside line, so I can't imagine he will. Still side by side they will go in towards the S's, and this is giving me PTSD from early on. Oh, in the Grand Prix there was an avenue. I thought we could try and make it 3 wide there, go for a very cheeky double overtake.
Okay, be careful with the front wing, you've taken some minor damage. Okay, listen, don't worry about it, mate. It can happen to the best of us. Now look, I've put a new strategy option for you in the MFD, so go and have a look.
I mean, Lawson was comfortably ahead of him there. Like, he could have just stayed over on that line, but for some reason on the exit of the corner, broke and moved back across my nose, so... Well, I'm certainly not going to pit... I've accidentally clicked the wrong button again. I'm certainly not going to pit by the end of this race. We're just going to try and stay out here now, but twice that has happened in this Grand Prix. And, well, I feel like this might be kind of karmic payback for Bahrain. We kind of accidentally gifted ourselves a great race there. So I think F125 has decided I'm going to get screwed over today. Here comes Bortoletto yet again, down the inside. And he will wave goodbye. Oh my, what is going on down in turn 1 there? Lawson, Hauger and Hulkenberg all going 3 wide. Fernando Alonso, I mean, trying to use those soft compound tyres, he has been well and truly screwed over towards the end of this race. Just has not been able to utilise them whilst they've been fresh. But it's allowing me to keep up with this group. So, Dennis Hauger, he's doing a fantastic job in that regard. Not when I nudge the curb through there. We're going to make our own Jeddah Grand Prix. One more lap to go then here from Jeddah. I mean, even Hauger is pulling away from me at the moment. Oh, I mean, these tyres are just wrecked. Absolutely destroyed them. And like I said, I mean, just nothing has gone our way today. They're slightly overheating on the canvas here as here comes Ollie Behrman. I don't want to finish last. Surely not. Behrman getting past me down in towards turn 1. And well, we are now down to last place in the Grand Prix. I think Alonso might be starting to struggle as well. His soft compound tyres. I always thought that was a bit of a bold choice by the Aston Martin driver. But McLaren looks like they're going to claim a 1-2 here. But I've got no idea which of their drivers is leading the race at the front of the order. We'll get confirmation of that in just a moment there. But as we try and continue throwing our damaged car around, Lando Norris is going to claim victory here on the Jeddah Corniche streets, his 3rd win, and will further extend his World Championship lead ahead of teammate Oscar Piastri on a day where, again, Verstappen could have been strong, but hasn't been able to prove himself. And the Red Bull team there, a disaster for them, a double DNF this weekend, as we are just trying to keep the car within the 1-second zone of Ollie Behrman in front of me. Are we going to see any more drama towards the end of the Grand Prix here, or are we going to finish last for the first time in this series, despite the fact we made Q3, making my own Jeddah Corniche layout at the moment? We've just got nothing left in the car. It's been a bit of a disaster. I'll be honest with you guys. Alonso all over the back of Dennis Hauger in towards the final corner. Is our teammate going to be on for a best result so far of the year? Behrman goes for a move on Alonso at the very last corner of the Grand Prix. Who's going to come out on top? I think it's going to be Fernando. We come through for 20th.
And here he comes. It's all go, go, go for Lando Norris as he takes the checkered flag and wins.
But another race victory today, and you can clearly see they're starting to believe in themselves more and more. You get to a stage, Crofty, where you become very hard to beat as a driver when you keep putting in performances like this one.
From lights out to the checkered flag, each and every driver has this moment in the back of their mind. Now it's time for their celebrations. Our podium, it awaits. He holds the trophy aloft, and why shouldn't he? A richly deserved win today for Lando Norris.
Well, there we are then, Lando Norris, and actually most of our top 10 there, opting for the one stop, and really was able to make it work there. 8 seconds clear of his teammate Oscar Piastri, McLaren 1-2, Ferrari 3 and 4 there, Hamilton just pipping Charles Leclerc come the end. George Russell ahead of Gasly, Andrea Kimi Antonelli ahead of Jack Doohan, who I believe that's his first points of the year there, with Ocon and Carlos Sainz rounding out the top 10. And well, yeah, I just can't help but feel, had we not picked up that front wing damage, we could have been in the fight for that final points paying position there. Last for us though, hopefully the only time this season, but we did beat both Red Bulls, so I guess, you know, there's that caveat at the end of the GP. What does that do to our World Championship? Well, Norris now 38 clear of Piastri, the ever consistent Leclerc in P3 ahead of Hamilton. Verstappen now down to 5th, just 5 points clear of George Russell. Tsunoda ahead of Gasly, Ocon, Antonelli and myself there. So we've been relegated back down into P11 in the World Championship. Still ahead of Alonso though, as yeah, like I said, first points of the year for Jack Doohan. Constructors-wise, we get relegated down to 8th as well in that table. Still ahead of Aston Martin, as it is just Kick Sauber yet to score. Ferrari now with a healthy buffer ahead of Red Bull, but still a long, long way behind McLaren. Thank you all so much for watching though. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back later on today ready for the Miami Grand Prix. You guys do not want to miss it.